Welcome to Life in the Fast Lane with Matt Tifta and myself on this very special occasion. Of course, my phone goes off right now. It's like people know that, like, oh, he's running 4 minutes behind. I'll wait till he starts and then we'll text him. Very special day today. What is the day, Matt? Because it's like Christmas here in Cleveland. It's better than Christmas. It's like a birthday.
The most celebrated day in all of Cleveland football, the NFL draft. But for the first time ever, we don't care. And it's awesome.
We don't. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, which I don't know if there's anything else other than that, but if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you don't give a damn about this draft.
No. The only thing that comes out of it is defensive talent, possibly a third-string wide receiver out of this. Only good things come out of this. Andrew Berry, the GM, had a baby this morning. There's another gift in there. He had the first draft this morning. We have Jadeveon Clowney has joined the team. We have whatever the name, the Johnson III has joined as a safety in there. We have Baker Mayfield. We have Nick Chubb. We have Austin Hooper. We have David Njoku. We have Odell Beckham Jr. We have Jarvis Landry. We have Kareem Hunt. We have an incredible offensive line. We need a couple more defensive tackles in there, but we have a great D-line there. What more could you want going into an NFL draft where we normally go, the first or second or third pick of the draft is, dude, this is crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. The whole thing is crazy. And we're not usually typically like all sports. You know what I mean? Like, we're not a super all sports show. But today, I guess, is a little bit different just because we're doing a show for the draft. We're doing a show just to kind of, hang out, have some fun. So,
yeah. Keith is a big baseball guy. I'm a big football guy.
Right.
Of course, I'm a big guy, but I'm a big football guy. And so this year is a very special year because the draft is being held in Cleveland. And in Cleveland fashion, we brought the Cleveland football weather with us. So high 40s, low 50s, dry, but it feels like fall, wintertime, football here in Cleveland going into the season. So sorry for the people that had to attend, but hey, they got to attend. There's actually people that are there for the draft. Very cool, at least they have that going on. And in the meantime as well, just everything being able to be reopened for the bars and the people that have just needed it, from the people on the 4th Street, just everywhere in Cleveland, getting the pump back going on in the city. Great for Northeast Ohio. But beyond that, I do want to talk about, yes, this NFL draft is being held in Cleveland, and we know the Browns' trajectory, and we will get into that later this show. However, Keith, we are doing a special draft show. I want to talk about one of the biggest news stories that's been developing these last few months in the world of football, and that is Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers has come out today to say he no longer wants to play for the Green Bay Packers.
But I think we knew that was coming, right? I mean, if you look at...
There's never an official statement.
Well, no, right. But I think we knew that was coming because if you look at what happened around Aaron Rodgers and what the Packers did, the Packers almost like they didn't give a crap about him. And I think he got tired of it. I mean, honestly, they weren't building around him. They weren't trying. They didn't really care. So, I mean, was it a shock that he came out and said, I don't want to play for him anymore, or I don't want to be associated with him anymore? I don't really think that took the world by surprise.
No, and I honestly think if you put Aaron Rodgers in a 2010s regime at the Patriots or someone like that, I think Aaron Rodgers is at least a 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I mean, yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. It's almost like the franchise gave up on. Listen, I don't know what to compare it to. Maybe you do, but when you don't give a crap about your franchise quarterback, it's almost like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it to where it makes sense. Because for me, if I'm the Packers, I'm building around Aaron Rodgers at all times, right? I'm making sure that man's comfortable. I'm making sure he cares, because if he cares, then obviously there's going to be steps to going to the playoffs and steps to going to the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I don't understand what they did and why they did it.
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing to me is right now, so there's two different situations going on. So let's start with the older, more veteran situation. Okay?
Sure.
So you look at Tom Brady and Tampa Bay right now. So the entire offense has come back again. Antonio Brown has come back again to go join the Buccaneers another year. So when you're looking at this Buccaneers team, you have a GM, a head coach, and a system to where they want Tom Brady to win again.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, my here, so give me a second so we don't shut down. Okay, we're back in. So you look at them, and I look at Tom Brady, and I go, I know you're not a big Tom Brady fan, but I am. And I say, you know what? I think that if you had Tom Brady in the belief in the system around him that he is getting right now, in the star power and the cap space, everything he's done, because we know Tom Brady has given up pay to get good players, right? He's been big on that his whole career.
Sure. No, he has.
Right, but if you look at now, because well, he doesn't have to. His supermodel wife is worth 4 times what he is. Like, it's ridiculous. So when you have Giselle to go, get the other 400 million, when you have your 250 million, I think you're okay, right?
I mean, yeah, a normal person would be okay.
Right, but I mean, it is Tom Brady. But so, anyways, you take a look at that situation, and I saw this earlier today. It said, imagine if Tom Brady had that belief, and you didn't have I guess I want to say the arrogance of Bill Belichick saying, well, I'm the reason this team is good, blah, 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 in a hoodie. I think if you don't have that going on, I think Tom Brady wins even more Super Bowls or goes to more Super Bowls. Maybe not win, but I think he's in a couple more Super Bowl games. So I think you take a look at that example, and then you compare that to Aaron Rodgers. Very similar eras and time spans in the NFL. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers a few years later. But Aaron Rodgers came in as one of the hottest prospects. Brett Favre hated him, did not want to mentor him. So from the beginning, he had it rough there. And then moving forward from that, I know Aaron Rodgers is not the most liked person in the world, but when you have a guy that is that talented.
But why is he not the most liked? I mean, I have no problem with Aaron Rodgers. I don't get it. He hasn't really done anything to piss me off. He keeps his mouth shut. He doesn't talk about politics. So I don't really understand why people hate him. What? Just because he's a Packer?
Well, no, I think it's something with the demeanor things where people don't like him because they think he's a jerk. That's what it comes back to. And so I've seen that, but at the same time, when he won the Super Bowl with the Packers, you had Greg Jennings, you had Randall Cobb, you had all these fantastic players around him. And guess what? You want to build a Super Bowl winning team, that's what you have to do. And here's where I'm going with this on the other side of it, okay? Talking about the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns have put together a top 3 roster in the NFL to go support Baker Mayfield in his 5th-year option before people are like, oh, they can't pay him because they don't believe in him. No. He was a walk-on at Oklahoma to go be won the Heisman. He was brought into the worst franchise in the last 20 years of NFL history to the Cleveland Browns and brought them to a playoff game and won a playoff game in Cleveland.
Right.
Okay. This entire thing around through 3 or 4 head coaches, 5 different position coach changes. And where are we now? We're in a place to where he is now surrounded by some of the best receiving corps, the best tight ends, the best running back pair in the NFL. You have a strong defense now. So you have a team that's actually building around him. Now, here's where I'm going to get a little bit pissy, Keith, okay? I'm going to go a little tyrant here.
I can tell you leaned into the camera. I like that.
Thank you. So here we go. So you're going to hear on everything from SportsCenter. Damn it, stupid laptop will not stay plugged in. I'm sorry, everybody.
Where you going, man? What's happening?
I don't know. So you have Aaron Rodgers, and he's saying he's not happy in Green Bay. Well, guess what? Every color commentator can say, well, they won't support him in Green Bay. They won't give him the people they want. They won't give him the money he wants. They won't build around him. Let's go take it that. And then now let's look at Baker Mayfield. Oh, Baker Mayfield's not good because they're building around him. He has a top core around him. He has an awesome offensive line. He's the best running back pair around him. Which side do you want? I'm sorry, but if you have Aaron Rodgers here and you're complaining because they don't build around him, and you have a young, promising quarterback, a playoff-winning quarterback that is going to be the face of your franchise, and you're complaining because you build around him, it doesn't work both ways, okay? You had the offense last year. They're building the defense this year now to be – they were a AFC championship competitor team last year. I never thought they'd make it to the Super Bowl. They should have been in the AFC championship game. Talking about the Browns.
Right.
However, we know there's a BS call that caused that whole thing to go down.
It was a bad call.
Yes, it was. There's a targeting call, and they missed it. At the end of the day, when you look at the Cleveland Browns and where they're at today, they built the defense on there to be able to go be a Super Bowl winning team. And if I look at that and I'm Aaron Rodgers and I go, hey, we have cap space, we have people, we should be able to do this, I am pissed, and I do want to leave Green Bay.
No, I mean you're right. You're right. I don't know. I'm not sold on being. I don't know. I guess if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm doing the same thing. I'm leaving. I'm bouncing out. I'm not going to worry about what people think. I think as an athlete, I mean, you were a professional athlete or are a professional athlete, whatever you want to call it. I mean, at some point in time, you got to stop worrying about what people say, right? You got to drown out the noise. You got to drown out the garbage. Is it going to be the best move for his career is what he has to worry about. Who do you think would take him? Like, if he doesn't want to play for the Packers anymore, who's going to take him?
A lot of people will take him. I really do believe.
Name a couple.
I think that if you have to look at the did the Colts sign anybody yet?
I don't know.
So I think the Colts would be a fit for them. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd have to look at who has cap space and who has young, players in there or big talent that they can go acquire. You bring Aaron Rodgers to a team, you're going to come and bring free agency to that team and make it just like Tom Brady did. You can go make that shift. The problem is you're sitting here and it's May, right? It's almost June. You're almost starting summer camp with that. That is the problem here. He didn't say this a few months ago. Now, maybe he plays one more year for the Packers and he's out. I don't know what the contract situation looks like. But at the same time, that is where you have to look at this and say, okay, well, Aaron Rodgers did this, but that he also just screwed himself because we know he's not happy. However, he did not say he's just leaving because Tom Brady did that. And he was able to say, I want to go test out free agency. I'm going to go get Gronk. I'm going to go get Antonio Brown. I have Mike Evans there. I have everybody here that I need to go win a Super Bowl. And he did. I don't think that the timing works out quite as well for Aaron Rodgers because he's doing this so late in the game.
I mean, it makes sense. It is late in the game for him, but I mean, he is still. He's still an elite quarterback, no matter how you look at it, right? I mean, you can't say that he's not one of the best in the game. I don't know if I put him on the same level as Tom Brady necessarily, but I mean, he is. And of course, everybody's gonna say, "Well, no, you can't because of rings and rings and rings." But I don't judge the best on how many Super Bowls. It's not a. Listen, you can't judge football players by how many Super Bowls they have, or quarterbacks by how many Super Bowl rings they have, because it's not a one person sport. You know what I mean? Like, I can judge you or any NASCAR driver by how many cup wins because it's a one-person thing. Golf is the same way. You can judge them by how many Masters they won or whatever. Baseball, football, basketball, totally different aspects, totally different analytics, totally different ways to rank players. But I think everybody's forgotten that. Yeah, Brady's the GOAT. He's great. He is one of the best quarterbacks, I think, to ever step foot on the gridiron. But I don't think personally that you can judge a player or rank a player by how many Super Bowls they have, especially if you're a quarterback. I mean, I might be wrong. People are going to talk crap about it, but that's fine. I don't judge them by that. You got to look at the stats past that.
No, I totally agree. So looking at what people are talking about here, looks like from Pro Football Talk, they're talking about Aaron Rodgers may have a nice fit for him with the Denver Broncos, what they're trying to build there. Looks like also San Francisco may have some interest in him because I know they're not big on Jimmy G out there. And that was that's an interesting one to me because some of my favorite games were the Packers 49ers playoff games with Kaepernick there when the two of them were going out. Those were some of the best NFC playoff games that would go on.
Right, but I mean, in all honesty, I think with Aaron Rodgers, I think the biggest problem that he got pissed. I mean, and I would be pissed too if you break it down. I think it was the Jordan Love last year. Right? I mean, Jordan Love, when they picked Jordan Love, what does that say to a franchise quarterback? What would that say to, like, if Cleveland, which I'm surprised that is, I know Cleveland Browns are a whole nother team. I know it's a whole nother era for us. But what a Cleveland Browns thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, what a Browns of the old type way to do something. You're going to piss him off by picking Jordan Love? That doesn't make any sense.
Yep. Okay, so coming from Trey Wingo, a source within the NFL here. So it says the Packers reportedly told Aaron Rodgers that they were going to trade him in the offseason. Then they backed off of those requests to trade him. It's been a bleep show ever since between them. And within the last week, Rodgers told the team, trade or no trade, I am not coming back.
Huh. That where's he going?
It pissed him off. Well, that's the thing now. I got to think it's either it's the Broncos or the 49ers, in my opinion.
See that? I don't know. That's a very very good possibility. But I mean, he does have a no. He doesn't have a no trade clause in his contract. He has no more guaranteed money left on his deal. Obviously, which was $57.5 million signing bonus at the time. You got to remember, at the time that was huge. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, Mahomes just blew that out of the water. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into what's going to happen with Rodgers. It's almost like a who's who. You know what I mean? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, right? Where's Rodgers going to go? Where's he going to end up? You know, and that would, I don't know, that would make sense if he went to any of the teams we were talking about. He's still got a lot of, I think he still has years left in him. He's 38, 37, somewhere around there, 36.
But you can still build 4 or 5 years around somebody like that.
Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. So
where you get people's and free agents to go and everything in there. But I can tell you one place he's not going, and that is the Jets, because I know that they can take him, but Aaron Rodgers will not go to the Jets.
I mean, you don't think he's going to go to the Jets?
No. Heck no.
No, and it makes sense, honestly, to I don't know. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know what's going to end up happening. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be, wherever he does go, it's going to be interesting. He's got to go to a place that's going to build around him, you're right, for the next 4 to 5 years. But what team makes sense to do that right now?
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those weird deals, because this has only happened a few times over the last few years, or really the last decade in football, because Ben Roethlisberger has stayed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You had Tony Romo was with the Cowboys forever, whether he was however you want to say his career was, he stayed with them forever.
Oh, yeah.
You have to look at the guys that did move. It was Peyton Manning, because he was in similar bad situations where he went to the Broncos, won a Super Bowl. Then you look at Tom Brady, bad situation, went to the Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl. So no matter what happens here, if they have a trade or it's draft picks or whatever it's going to be, it's going to have to be worth a lot. And then 2, this is going to be a big part of Aaron Rodgers' legacy. He was extraordinarily accurate in this last year. He was one of the, I think, leading quarterbacks in almost every stat category there is. So when you have a talent that is that high, you are wasting him if you don't put people around him. So I think this is a chance for Aaron Rodgers where he decides to go. He's going to have a pick of at least 3 or 4 or 5 teams that want him.
Yeah.
But this will either be a black eye in the next chapter of Aaron Rodgers' entire NFL career, or this is going to be the best decision he ever made and showed that the Green Bay Packers organization was really doing some crappy things all along.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're right, and I don't think it's a secret that they've been doing crappy things. I think they treated him bad. I think they just didn't value what he was worth. And as an athlete, as a human, it doesn't matter what you are. If you don't value somebody, or you don't value what that person is worth, or whatever, that there's issues with that. You know what I mean? You're not going to want. Who the hell wants to go play for a boss that doesn't give a crap about you? Who the hell wants to come work for a boss that doesn't give a crap about you? Like, there's a lot that come into play, and everybody, especially fans, right? We're so quick to be like, oh, this guy's arrogant, he's a piece of crap, he's garbage. But in reality, we're sitting here, we don't know the whole story. After I started talking with Hillis a lot and stuff like that, I didn't realize there was so much back-end stuff that went on, with the athletes, and everybody, fans form their own opinions. That's fine. That's great. But when you start blasting people with stuff you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know the full story, it doesn't help your team. It doesn't help that person. Cleveland is the worst city when it comes to their media, because our media trashes our players constantly. That's what they do. And I think it's garbage. I think it's horrible. Adam Schefter is the guy doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. He's just a bad reporter. And then you got Coward, all these people. It's just, they don't care about Cleveland, but we live in Cleveland and we want to build these athletes up, right? But then we tear him down. It doesn't make any sense. So we don't know the whole story, what's going on with Rodgers and why he's pissed off at Green Bay. It'll come out eventually. Something will happen. Then Green Bay is going to double down and say a whole bunch of mean things. But in reality, Aaron Rodgers is pretty much, his career was devoted to making sure the Packers were winners, and he was not getting that same type of respect back from Green Bay.
Well, think about this. You replaced Brett Favre. Brett Favre is to be loved by Green Bay Packers fans. Now, there was a bad time of the Vikings and the Jets and stuff like that, mainly because he went to the Vikings. But still,
Well, that's because the man retired, then came back, then retired. He was like I don't know, he was like a cold sore. He's like herpes. He just appeared, went away, appeared, went away. And I do like Brett Favre. I'm not saying he's herpes, but what I'm saying is he just wouldn't go away. He was he didn't know what to do. He retired and lost his mind is what happened. But I mean, I think if you still look at Green Bay. You gotta look listen, Cleveland fans can sympathize with Green Bay right now. We know what's going on. We know what it's like to have organizations that don't care about the players. So we can sympathize with that. But I think that just understanding that Green Bay, we don't know the whole story, but I'm going to take the side of Aaron Rodgers. Too many times have I taken the side of team owners and have been made a fool out of. So, I mean, I'm taking the side of Green Bay on this time. I'm taking the side of Aaron Rodgers this time.
Well, and I look back on the last few years for not even the last few years, but okay. So we start from the timeline of he's brought in to replace Brett Favre. That is a big. Brett Favre wanted nothing to do with grooming Aaron Rodgers. So he's already got on his shoulder. You know what he does with that? He goes to the playoffs several times and wins a Super Bowl. Then after that, he trash his roster. He has nothing to work with. And all he does is a time and time again go back to the NFC playoffs. Okay, so you move past that. Then in the middle of it, when they're going on another playoff run, what do? They go and draft Matt LaFleur to be his backup quarterback. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt because they had no offensive line.
Right.
Matt LaFleur comes in and throws like 6 touchdowns in his first game, then like 5 touchdowns the next game. Then they're going, oh shit, is Aaron Rodgers the guy or no? And then he played some other. I think he went to the Lions eventually, and he wasn't very good. He got a couple of games where he was really good at. You know, got a lucky few games in there. Had some good games. But so if you're Aaron Rodgers, then you have the organization and the fans going, well, we got this guy who's an elite quarterback and won Super Bowls. But hey, look at your backup. He threw more touchdowns than you did. That can't help. Then you have an offensive line that's garbage. So he's running around the whole field, getting hurt, getting hit all the time. I mean, this is what's going to happen to Joe Burrow, sadly. But then so you rebuild everything. You are statistically the best quarterback in almost every analytical deal for, on average over the last 3 or 4 years.
Because
what have you shown for it? A crappy team, an organization that doesn't care about you and they want to trade you away. What does that say to Green Bay Packers fans? I think that should be an insult to them. And then Aaron Rodgers, that's an insult to him because he is the best player on that team. Without him, I don't think they do very well. They had the big debate about the Patriots. Are they good or are they bad? Without Tom Brady, and I think we all proved that. So with them winning the Super Bowl and the Patriots sucking. So, anyways, I think it's going to be very interesting to see where he goes and what happens. With that being said,
so Justin, you ready for this? The Jags. Who do you think the Jazz just picked?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
First pick in. Trevor Lawrence.
We knew this was going to happen, though.
Yep.
Everybody we did a poll. So Peyton actually did a poll on his page that said, who do you think obviously the number 1 pick is going to be? And it was Lawrence. I mean, everybody knew he was going, and I mean, good for them.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We are done talking about Aaron Rodgers. When we come back, we are in the middle of the NFL draft now, so we are going to go over the first pick of Trevor Lawrence going to the Jags. We're going to look at looks like the Jets are on the board now. San Francisco is next, and after that is Atlanta. We'll probably be able to catch all those picks as we go along here. We'll talk about some other football stuff. So enjoy our NFL Draft Day special. We'll be right back. Don't miss anything.
Welcome back to Life in the Fast Lane with Matt Tift and myself on a very special Cleveland holiday. A very special holiday for just all sports fans in general. We just happen to be repping the Cleveland jerseys, so we don't give a crap about this draft. We're just happy it's in Cleveland. We're happy it's here, it's happening. What's going? We talked about Aaron Rodgers for a lot. Well,
it's one of the biggest build-up stories into the NFL draft of the season. But beyond that, you just mentioned the fact that it is in Cleveland this year, and is truly a different year for the Browns coming up here because of the fact that they do have such a star-studded roster. Yep. I hope this lasts for a long time. But Baker Mayfield obviously just got the 5th-year extension. Doesn't mean it's a big contract yet. It is $18.6 million. Not like we're talking about chump change here. But I love the fact that he is taking that mindset to say, hey, I'm not worried about the big contract, and I'm ready to go to work and go prove it. I love that mindset about Baker Mayfield. But let's go take it a step back to the first pick.
Well, wait a minute, because the next pick just got locked in.
It did. It's about to come in. So let's see.
No, it already did. They picked him.
Yep. It's the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets just came off of trading away Sam Darnold, which was a really good move, if you agree.
I don't think it was a bad move.
I think Adam Gase was the real toxin over there, to be honest with you.
And that's the other thing is there was a lot of and I wonder if that had something to do, not to jump backwards, but I wonder if that had something to do with Aaron Rodgers. It was just a toxic environment for him. But moving past that, obviously. So the pick is in for the Jets. They just picked Zach Wilson. The 49ers are on the board. They need a quarterback. So you see Justin Fields going? I see Justin Fields. Either that or they're going to take Trey Lance. What's going to happen? I don't know. Because Justin Fields has been bashed and bashed and bashed in the media. You think he's going top 3, top 4?
I do see him going to, after the whole Deshaun Watson fallout, I see him going to the Texans, is my opinion.
To the Texans?
I do.
I see the 49ers picking him up.
Now, I could see either because they need a mobile quarterback. They need someone with it. And he fits both of those offenses.
Well, think about who the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons were. Think about back when Vic was there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Justin Fields is a Vic at all, but what I'm saying is, think about that type of offense that they usually like to do. I could see him. I could see Fields fitting in very, very well with the Falcons.
No, I can definitely see that too. Obviously, the Matt Ryan days I think are over. They need to move on. They've just been struggling for years now, and I even though their records have been some of the best in the NFL over on average the last few years. Last year, terrible year. Matt Ryan, I think, certainly shows age a little bit. At the same point, I think that you have to look ahead to say, all right, how does that organization rebuild? Because they used to be a superpower that really should have gone to the Super Bowl many more times than they did. We know they lost a huge lead against the New England Patriots, but they really should have won a lot more championships than they did. Probably a Super Bowl here and there more. But one thing I want to talk to you about Justin Fields that I know he's been beat up in the media, but this is a personal thing to me. So he released to the public that he was actually battling epilepsy. It runs in his family.
Sure.
And so no matter what, as a person with epilepsy, I have to say I am now a fan of Justin Fields. Of course, I was from Ohio State.
I was a fan of him before all that. I don't understand why the media was trashing him so hard, but a lot of it came from Colin Cowherd. So I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it.
That shows you what kind of a guy he is, right? So he has not only been one of the best Ohio State Buckeyes quarterbacks there is, doing it at the same time fighting epilepsy. I know how hard it is to live on a day-to-day basis with epilepsy. So for the fact to go that Colin Cowherd is beating him up on that stuff in his play, you can go analyze the crap out of his play as much as you want to. But if you're going to go analyze and beat up on the guy because he has epilepsy, go screw yourself.
Well, the only thing is, listen, again, if you want to judge somebody on how they play, fine. But just to hate somebody, to hate them, doesn't make any damn sense to me. And it happens in football. It actually happens with Cleveland. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are from Cleveland or you like Cleveland, you are on Colin Cowherd's shit list, and I just don't understand why. I can't figure it out. Colin Cowherd is the biggest piece of crap. The fact that he's a sports analyst still blows my mind because I like Justin Fields. To be honest with you, I don't have a problem with him. I don't want him on the Browns, but I don't have a problem with him, and I think he is a top 4 or 5 quarterback.
Yep, no, absolutely. Well,
I mean, personally, I don't know. I'm going to get rocked, I'm sure, in the comments and everything else because I'm not a football analyst. I'm a fan. You're the football analyst. Let's talk about baseball. We can get things we can get things done. But right now, I don't see a problem with the way Justin Fields played. I didn't see a problem. He played his heart out, dude. He got bashed at Ohio State. I mean, just totally beat up, and still went out and gave it his all. That says something. You know what I mean? That's a trainable, coachable person.
Absolutely. Well, and what he fights through off the field, that's what fighting adversity and stuff like that, that's what's going to show a true champion in that.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't help his career. Maybe something happens. I understand that there's things you do on off the field aside from medical things that may make or break your career, right? You can go judge those, you can analyze those things, but you're absolutely right. There's something about Ohio and Colin Cowherd. I don't know if he got mugged there or something. I don't know what the deal is, but there's got to be some come to Jesus moment between Colin Cowherd and the state of Ohio.
Yeah, dude, it's absolutely. I mean, it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just don't. I don't think I'll ever understand why he hates Cleveland so bad. I don't think he knows why he hates Cleveland so bad. Or Ohio. He hates Ohio. You know what I mean? Like, I guess he's okay with Cincinnati. I don't consider them Ohio. They're part of Kentucky. But, I don't know. I don't understand. And Justin Fields is not that bad of a quarterback. I don't think I think he was top 4, top 5 quarterbacks. But the media, and including Colin Cowherd, is the one that bashed him down for no apparent reason. Because, you can't bash a guy who puts his heart and soul into playing for a team, works his ass off, and then you're just going to bash him, say, he's a top 50. Shut up. Just shut up. And I don't know how he has a job. Colin Cowherd, if you ever want to come on my show and talk, we can.
So while that's all going on, let's jump back for a second to the Ohio State Buckeyes and Justin Fields. Right before, he's the star quarterback there.
Yep.
Coaching at Ohio State is Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer makes the jump to be an NFL head coach again over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you think about that? Trevor Lawrence going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence.
I expected it.
Beat up the Ohio State Buckeyes. So that's going to be hard to watch. I think between you have Urban Meyer in there having to coach Trevor Lawrence. I'm sure he loves the opportunity to do it, but how much of a small world is that? The guy that just beat up on is now your star quarterback, starting quarterback. That's your first round pick, your first pick of the draft. Not only first round, but very first pick of the draft is the guy that just went and whooped your ass.
Well, and the only thing is, all right, so I don't have a bad thing to say about Trevor Lawrence either, but Trevor, I mean, have you've seen Remember the Titans? I hope.
Yep.
Okay, tell me he's not Sunshine.
No, he is. You're right.
Like that is Sunshine, and I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good guy outside of that too. Do you know what I mean? Like I really do. I think he's a decent person, and we all knew. I think everybody that did mock drafts had him going number 1 anyways.
Well, I mean, he was in his house. Marty Smith from ESPN interviewed him, and he was at his house with his friends with a jersey already. He already knew him. All right, this just in. The San Francisco 49ers pick is in. We're waiting to see who they are going to pick. Looks like there's a trade before the season, and they did the 3rd overall. The 49ers sent the 3rd overall pick to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins the 49ers got the 3rd pick. The Dolphins get the 12th pick and something else. The screen just changed. I'm sorry, I missed it. I'm not an analyst, so I'm doing my best.
It's cute. You're trying, Matt. You're trying.
In the meantime, while we're waiting on this, Keith, if there was one team other than the Browns that you could go pay or play for in the NFL, who would it be?
Falcons.
Why the Falcons?
Because I'm from Firelands, and when we were the Fireland Falcons. And growing up, I just liked the Falcons too. I mean, I was a big 49ers fan back in the day, but I'm an Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to say this and everybody's going to flip out, but I was a big Vic fan.
Yeah. Well, honestly, Michael Vick as a player was one of the most electrifying players to watch.
He was.
Like, you cannot deny that. Even when he was with the Eagles, like, so much fun to watch.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can't deny the fact that he was. And I mean, he was great to watch. It was fun to watch, which is why I think Justin Fields is going to fit so well into Atlanta.
Well, the difference between Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson was that the fact that Lamar Jackson is just as fast as Michael Vick, but Michael Vick had a freaking cannon. Lamar Jackson dinks and dunks it for 15, 20 yards. They do the tight end deals that get people open in the slot routes. Michael Vick could shoot that thing over 80 yards. And but by the time the ball was there, he already beat it down the field. That's how fast he was.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the 49ers pick a Trey Lance.
Another quarterback. All three quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3.
I'm telling you, the Falcons have to pick Justin Fields. It only makes sense now.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one to see on the last part of their show here, because we're going to be able to get that and the Cincinnati pick. I think the Cincinnati pick is a big one because Joe Burrow, of course, one of the most promising quarterbacks that we've seen come up. But we see him in the AFC North, and I feel bad for the guy because he is an exceptional talent. He's a great leader.
He is.
And I'm saying this as a Browns fan, and he gets absolutely mauled out there.
Well, he does, and that's another guy. Listen, anybody so for the Kentucky Bengals to have him as a quarterback, I think that he's going to give it his all no matter what. That's what I'm talking about. These players, I mean, people like Burrows, even Mayfield, they give it their all. They try their hardest. They're not egotistical. I mean, Mayfield has a little bit of ego. He calmed down last year, and look what happened. But I think that you're going to see these people, at least for the Kentucky Bengals, I think they're going to keep Burrows around for a long time. They're going to build around him, or at least I hope they would.
Did you see so you saw the big the reveal they had for their new jersey and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it was grass stains.
Yeah, exactly. So they had the line that came out with the grass stains. And Joe Burrow, it says, it said Joe Burrow, so we're getting a new line this year, right? And the Bengals said, absolutely. Here's the new line of jerseys for you.
Oh, poor bastard.
Dude, he was absolutely murdered on the field last year. I've never felt so bad for somebody on the field. I mean, that was absolutely brutal. Like, the dude he is so good. Again, he's going to be scary good, but he's going to be one of those guys that if they don't fix their issues, he's going to get knocked out of his career. He's going to end up like a D Rose, to where you never quite knew what the potential overall long run would be.
Oh, wait, what was that?
D Rose, like Derrick Rose for the Bulls, different sport.
Derrick Rose.
But he was insanely talented, but got injured. Probably should have been, just as good as any point guard ever to play in the NBA, but couldn't stop getting hurt. And so you go and blow out your knee like you did with Joe Burrow, and that is a disgusting. They just still give me chills to remember that hit and how it popped out. But that deal there, that's going to be something that's going to plague him in his career. You saw with Cam Newton, as soon as he got hurt or injured one time, and then his head got full and everything like that, I don't know what happened to him, but he has never recovered. There's certain things that happen to players early in their careers that they do not recover from. And I'm afraid for Joe Burrow, not the Bengals. I can care less about the Bengals, but for Joe Burrow, I worry that that's the thing that's going to happen to him.
Well, no, and that could happen. I mean, think about it. You talked about Derrick Rose, obviously, different sport, but that happens more times than not. You know what I mean? Like, these guys that you think are going to have probably some of the best record-breaking careers you've ever seen ended up losing their stuff too early, due to, and that's, I guess, maybe, again, not to bounce back to Aaron Rodgers, but maybe that's what happened. They're just not, you just have bad GMs. You have bad ownership, and when you just let people get hit and hit and hit and hit and don't try to fill in the holes, yeah, they're not going to have the best careers that you think they're going to have because you're not giving them the opportunity.
Well, you and I have talked about this with our friend Peyton too, about the toll that concussions play. Injury in the NFL. You take a few concussions, you're not the same person you were before. The cognitive processes do not happen the same way they did before. I know that when you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes, right? So insane quarterback, but you look at Patrick Mahomes going into that Browns game last year in the playoff game. We've talked about this. We injured Patrick Mahomes in a play there. I think it was an ankle sprain or something like that. Also, there's the big concussion there. Patrick Mahomes would have won the Super Bowl, I do believe, if he had not gotten hurt in that Browns game. Injuries like that, and that was a quick turnaround. That's a very dramatic, thing to say there because that's 3 weeks. But things like that'll happen. That can change someone's entire career and the organization's entire deal just like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely it can. Absolutely. And that's a shame. You know what I mean? But that's the sport you're in. I mean, you're going into a full contact sport. So I mean, you know what's going to happen, but at the same time as a player, you would have to imagine that you expect I don't even know if you expect. Yeah, I guess you expect. You expect that team to protect you or at least do their damnedest to protect you, right?
Yeah, well, and so Joe Burrow, when we talked about him, or when they talked about him in the regular season, he said every week we show up to win. And the problem was that in the chemistry in the locker room, not everybody had that same philosophy. I'm sorry, but if you're just sitting back there just collecting a paycheck to be in the NFL, I know you get paid well, and you get paid damn well to be in the NFL.
Oh
But
yeah.
if you have someone trying to be in there to go turn a franchise around, like a Baker Mayfield did with the Browns, you have to believe in him, or else you will be gone. That's it. Doesn't
Right.
matter how talented you are. If you don't believe, you're out. That's just it.
So the Falcons pick is in. Now we're just waiting to see who it is. Who do you think it's going to be? People are thinking it could be Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase. I still think Justin Fields is going. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think it's Fields still.
You don't think so?
It is interesting though because Matt Ryan's getting up in age and something. It could be that direction. Let's see.
I know. I kind of hope. I would like to see Fields in a Falcon jersey. That's just me.
It would be very cool for the style of quarterback that Fields is. One, to have him in the NFC, not the AFC. That would be nice.
Right.
But but to also have him, like you said, the Michael Vick style of play, he can fit into that. I just don't know if the Falcons are able to build a team again that without, they've got some older players on that team to be able to go do that again.
And I mean, you're right. That is. I don't know, man. I just right now the Kentucky Bengals are on the clock, so we'll see what they do. But I really want to see who Atlanta picks, just because I really hope that it's Fields. I don't know. Maybe it won't be. Maybe I'm the only one that hopes that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They still got Kyle Pitts available as a tight end there. You got Sewell as a DT.
Oh,
I don't know. Here we go.
they picked Pitts.
Did that.
Kyle
I think-
Pitts.
My deal's about a minute behind you.
Tight end Kyle Pitts. Damn it.
But that makes sense though for the Falcons because you look at Tony Gonzalez and all the success that Matt Ryan and him had together. That makes a lot of sense why they would go that direction because I really think now the art and the position of the tight end has changed so much to where really they're big wide receivers that also have to block. They are a wide receiver first, then they have to block, and they have to block very well. But it's changed the dynamic now because you have to be able to go down the field and go jump and have an insane vertical to go make crazy plays. The tight end position with the play action and the high or the West Coast offenses and everything you see in the NFL with all the passing now is so different. And that's where I thought it was cool with the Browns last year. You had David Njoku show up, when he was healthy and everything in the playoffs to show how good he was. And it's like, shoot, maybe we really do need David Njoku here alongside Austin Hooper because the guy who made the plays in the playoffs was David Njoku for the Browns, and that's a big tight end spot. And we all wanted him out, and I was like, okay, maybe we want him because he wants to be here now. So I don't know. That's it's definitely something to keep an eye on of how that position evolves, even in this draft, how they pick them. Because normally, traditionally, tight ends are third, fourth round picks. You don't take them the first round.
Right. Yeah. No, you don't. But I mean, I get what they're trying to do. You're right. I'm not saying it's a bad pick for them. You're right.
So let's talk a little bit more, though, in general about the NFL. So this year, first time ever, they're going to a 17-game schedule. What you think about that?
For what?
The NFL, this is the first year they're going to a 17-game regular season schedule. Adding one more game. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
So my 2 cents on that being an athlete before and then now knowing logistics into things, it makes sense for the TV deal for them to have an extra game. I think for the Browns, it helps them because they have an insanely tough schedule. We play the Cardinals as the extra game. Not exactly helping us, but they might give us a chance more in there.
Sure.
However, as a player, I hate it because of the preseason. They should cut the preseason to 2 or 3 games to add that last game again in there, especially with how much they put on their bodies, all the hits and stuff they take. So I think you really got to think about, does this change for a dynamic running back duo like the Browns or someone else that has that with different wide receivers for changeouts during games? Do you have to plan differently? Because we talked about, teams sitting out people for game 16, they're going into the playoffs. Do you maybe do that through a season to where it's kind of like college where more second stringers come in towards the end of the season to keep people healthy because you have that extra week in there that you have to be able to come up and play well. if there's more people of more depth that you need because of those extra games in there. We saw how bad the Browns got decimated last year from COVID and injuries and things like that. I think now adding that extra game in there really changing the dynamic of things because you have a situation to where that is a long period of time. It's 17 games plus the bye week. So really 18 weeks is the NFL now, plus the 4 weeks of preseason, plus the postseason. That is basically half the year now is football season, which is awesome for a football fan.
I was going to say.
If you look at a club, you got to think, okay, what's my load management for my guys? You have to start going into that conversation.
Well, no, they're going to have to. But, I mean, I don't understand why it wasn't 17 games. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm a baseball fan, so 164 games makes sense. But I get football's different. I understand. I just don't see the need for all those preseason games. Make them count.
I'm fine with the 17 games, but get rid of the preseason. I'm fine with 20 games. Get rid of the preseason games. Nobody cares. We've proven between NASCAR, the NFL, MLB, you don't need all the training camps. You don't need to do all this stuff. I know it helps younger players get developed, but guess what? They're going to get thrown in the wolves at some point. Either they're going to make it or they don't.
I think my biggest concern with football and the training or whatever, the spring training or not spring training, but the preseason games. There's too many injuries. You know what I mean? You're still playing full. You're not. I'm sure they don't tell their players, "Hey, I only want you to go 50%." Everybody's going 100%. It's football. You're back. You're going back. The pads are on. You're hitting people. You're in your uniforms. I just don't see the need for it, especially since it is that big of a full, contact sport. Just make it all count. Make it all count. They want to have little scrimmages and stuff. Inter squad. There's enough people to do that. When you go out there, you don't want to see your team get injured or what. God forbid, one of your major quarterbacks get injured or your first string quarterback gets injured, a day one of a preseason game.
Yeah, and so what is the risk? What is the reward for the risk? Nothing. So
yeah.
Greedy Williams, when we go to the training camp last year, one of the Browns' highest, the prospect of a pick they've had. Hopefully he gets to do well this year as a free safety. Goes out in training camp, immediately injured. I forget who the other guy was in there, but he immediately went out and got injured. So
right.
There's so many dangers in that side of it to where it really makes you question, why are we doing this? Why is there a preseason? And to your point, they say, oh, they're not trying that hard, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, because those guys are fighting for a first string, second string, or third string spot on there because that pays a lot more than a practice squad spot does.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They are competing for those spots, especially between special teams, wide receivers, running backs, all those positions, and cornerbacks and free safeties and linebackers. I mean, the whole deal, they're all fighting for these spots, so they're going to go all out to make sure that they go and have a career. And so what that does is make the guys at the top of the food chain, if they don't want to seem lazy and they're not locked in to be the starter, which is about 80% of them, they need to go and perform and show up. And so that leads to a chance of an injury. So
right.
That is a very big topic of how these teams evaluate now. Training camp, preseason, and now going into a longer regular season, and then having more wild card. You have the extra wild card game in there, so there's more games than ever. So I think it puts less of a pressure on the preseason. So they have to take a different look at what preseason football and training camps look like.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, 100%.
Who cares if the Browns go 4-0 in the preseason? Doesn't win you anything.
Right. No, you're right. Cincinnati Bengals pick is in. So now Dolphins are on the clock. Let's wait to see who the Kentucky Bengals pick.
All right. In the meantime, while we're waiting on the pick, tell people where they can find us because we just have a few minutes left before we wrap up at 9 o'clock.
So you can follow me at KeithMiger1 on Twitter. Follow Matt at Matt_Tift. You can check us out on Teespring. We got some cool merch going on. If you like the show, support it. You can check us out on iHeartRadio, on Apple iTunes, and Google Spotify. Everywhere you catch your podcast, you can catch the pre-record of this episode of Life in the Fast Lane. You can catch all of our episodes of Life in the Fast Lane. Please subscribe. Doesn't matter what you subscribe to, just subscribe to our all of our podcasts so that way you get updates. You get cool stuff. We got a lot of cool giveaways going on that we do. Matt does some cool stuff. We just got a brand new studio. We got everything going on. So make sure you subscribe and enjoy, right?
And before we announce this Bengals pick, we are you're missing a big part there. If you follow Keith Miger1, myself at Matt_Tift,
That's right,
and the show at LITFL show, and hashtag Nintendo giveaway, you have the chance to win a Nintendo Switch on Memorial Day weekend. We'll be picking the winner. So if you follow all of us and do the hashtag Nintendo giveaway, you have the chance to win a Nintendo Switch. That is huge, and we'll be giving it to you for free as long as you do that. So go make sure, follow all of us, and go retweet it with the hashtag Nintendo giveaway. We will be giving away a Nintendo Switch.
absolutely. Well, dude, it was a fun show tonight. I mean, we had a lot of cool people. We had a lot of people coming in, so that was awesome. Make sure you guys check us out. We do a show on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday every single week. Again, follow me at Keith Miger1. Follow Matt at Matt_Tift, and then share it. Hashtag Nintendo Switch giveaway, and Matt's gonna pick a winner to get a Nintendo Switch. And who knows? I got a Switch. He's got a Switch. Oh, there it is. They just picked Jamar Chase.
All right, where is he from? I'm not familiar.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you. He's LSU.
No, I know he's from LSU. What does he play?
Oh, he's wide receiver.
Okay, gotcha.
You said where is he from? It's not. What the hell do you mean?
So that's my bad. I missed it. My phone was cut off the draft coverage, so that's my bad. All right, well, Joe Burrow has another target to throw to other than AJ Green. So.
Right, but we're trying to keep Joe Burrow alive. I'm glad he's got targets, but damn, keep the man alive.
As a Browns fan, I'm very happy about that.
I know.
There's gonna be a lot of screens. Yeah, a lot of screenplays with the Kentucky Bengals this year, and luckily we have two edge rushers on both sides, so we're probably gonna knock the quarterback down.
Heck yeah. All right, man. Well, we'll be back Monday. Oh no, are you? So no, we're doing a best of Monday.
Yes, we have a spring break week next week, so we are not live next week. However, you will have the best of Life in the Fast Lane show mashups here, so make sure you catch us on Monday. In the meantime, again, follow Keith Miger1, follow Matt_Tift, follow the show at LITFL show, retweet it, hashtag Nintendo giveaway. We're giving away a Nintendo Switch. And guys, go enjoy the NFL draft the next couple of days here.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will talk to you soon.